Are we shifting and shifting and shifting and slipstreaming? Welcome, welcome to a beautiful winter day. I think it's November 17th or 18th. Anybody put the date in the live chat stream there for me? And we can do our numbers for today. We're going to do our cards today. We're going to do a triangle. Yay, triangle. We're going to do our triangle. And we're all feeling, so just take a deep breath and take a deep breath and call in the light. Take a deep breath and call in the light. Call in all your soul fragments and all your soul energies. And just feel yourself ground through your pillar of light. I really just want to start working with your pillar of light every day. In the morning, call in your energy, call all of your light to your center of your energy field, your pillar of light. Just visualize light coming from the heavens. Visualize light coming from up above, your beautiful hello goddess. Hello, beautiful goddess. Hello, goddess in my garden. The goddess in my garden. The goddess in my garden. I'm going to write you a song one day. The goddess in my garden. So next week I'm going to start working on the cerebellum. I'm going to do downloads about the cerebellum because it's calling me. I love the cerebellum. The cerebellum's calling me. With all these new codes that I have, we're going to explore the cerebellum next week. Next week. How are you doing? Hello, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Can you just put the date? Let's work out the numbers for today. What is the date today? I'm just getting all my sheets ready so that I don't have to scramble when I'm actually wanting them. I got my DNA here. I got my electrical field there. See, when I have my resources and stuff, I'm going to have an assistant that will just flip the screen for me on all these things that I'm talking about. We are going to do, let's just see what the cards are coming up today, because I'm going to go right into channeling. I've got goosebumps everywhere, so the teams are wanting me to go into channeling. There's a lot of energy that's being kind of ripped up and pulled up because of the corrupt people that have been called out. And they're now all scrambling, trying to still play God and trying to still play handler, trying to still play dominator and whatever their games they play. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's zero connection to source. There's zero connection to spirit. It doesn't make sense on what these people do, that they think they're highly ranked and they think they're important, and all they do is play games with people's lives, and it's all about money, selfishness and money. So it's 1811, so 8 is 9, 10, 11, 11 and 9. 11 and 9, isn't that 20? And look at the people in the live stream. 20 just signed on. So 20 is a God plus you times 2. That's how I look at 20. I always call 10 is the God plus you, so that's 10, and then there's the God plus 2. So we're talking about divine partnerships, divine relationship, and it could be also divine relationship in it could be also divine relationship with your work experience of who you are, right? I'm not in any movies. So if there's a black web and if there's a porn movie and if there's a fans only movie that has my doppelganger in it, that's not me. I'm not in any movies. I've never signed on any movies. So if there's doppelgangers that have been making money off of my name and off of my energy, which is why everybody will be charged and sued for exploitation. All of the people know that they have been charged and they're already found guilty in the spiritual courts, and Spirit is pulling each and every one of them out. If there is any movies or porn movies or any websites that you can attach as a link, and you can send it to my email. Anybody, so if there's those things that are carrying on in the Black Underground, put a link or put the advertisement that you have seen and just send it to my email, because everybody's going to be sued either way. There's been doppelgangers that look like me. I've been celibate for 15 years. So when you say movie, am a Truman Show type of person, because people want to take advantage of all the energy while they leave me homeless. And I am, obviously, because I am who I am spiritually. I was brought here to call those people out, and I did my job, so these people will be getting karma, and nobody will be given mercy. There'll be no mercy given to these people that abuse and use the heavenly name, that abuse and use energy, that abuse and use star seeds and children, and sweet crystalline people like myself that have done nothing but speak truth. So everybody's getting karma. Again, I don't care. I won't engage in these behaviors of idiocy and immaturity. It's so juvenile. It's like little teenage boys, making up businesses about porn. That's how it is. That's the energy. The energy is like little immature boys that are very, very wounded, that are not getting healed, and they're bringing testosterone and anger and misogyny, unfairness, bullying. It's very, very juvenile. It's so immature. And none of these people, they're men. They're apparently full-grown men. They're showing me in my vision. They're full-grown men. They're not emperors, and they are not kings. These men are not kings, and they're not emperors. If they take somebody like myself and they put them and done what they've done to me, all the things that have been done to me, these are not kings and they're not emperors. And they will be sued and they will lose the money equally because they will be charged. And I will seek maximum sentencing for the suffering, for the pain, for the PTSD, for the daily stalking and the daily... They don't want to give me my money because they do not want Divine Feminine to have the money. They do not want Divine Feminine to create in her own will. They're doing everything. They have done everything they can to prove me insane, to go through all of these routes. When these people that hold the money, they have never gone through that due process themselves. And these people party, they have sex orgies, they're doing egregious things, traveling all over the world. They're paying for voodooists, they're paying for hitmen, they're paying for assassins off the money that they're telling the world that I'm not capable of handling. And yet this is what they're doing with the money. How is that okay? How is that okay that they pay for escorts and they do the most egregious things on the money that's not even theirs? These monies were never legally theirs. They were my money. And yet they're doing everything they can to fabricate false stories, false accusations, so that I look insane. And yet the things they're doing with their money, they're insane. These people are insane. These people are paid hitmen. These people are paid dark minions, dark warlocks, and dark witches to destroy people's lives. And they're getting paid for it. And now that they've been told by the heavens to return the money to me, they're still withholding the money. They do not want me to have anything. These people are literally insane in their head. They're insane. They don't care about the laws. They don't care about anything. They don't want me to have the money. They do not want Divine Feminine to stand in her right, to stand in her will, that she has survived RICO crimes. She has survived bullying. She has survived being kicked out of her house. She has survived the lies and the blatant fabrication since the day she was born, the thousands of curses and the thousands of hexes while running a business, while writing books, and I still stay up and I still get up and I still send light and I still move little wormies. So don't tell me and give the ridiculous audacity for anyone to say, oh, you're insane. Really? Let's do a financial audit on every single one of you that belong to your church, and we will see where every single dollar has been spent. We'll see where every dollar has been spent. I will get a financial audit and I will see where every dollar has been spent. All of you. And then we'll see who's insane. This is how these people spend the money. And what do you think a homeless person is going to do is spend the money? Go look at my accounts. Go look at my accounts. A $2.34 purchase to have a coffee at Tim Hortons. $2.34. That's what it costs. That's my expenditures for the week. That's my expenditures. That's all it. That's it. $2.34 a day. And these people don't think that I'm capable. I've had my security certificate. I've worked in banks for 13 years. I've worked in the governments. I've no due process on POAs. These people are illegal and fraudulent on every level. And these people are having sex orgies and passing diseases and not telling anybody. And you tell me that I'm insane. I'll see every one of you in the high courts, and I'll see every one of you sentenced, and I will seek the maximum sentencing. None of you will walk away free. None of you. All of the cults and covens across the world, every voodooist, every person that's put a pin inside a voodoo doll, every person that's put a hex and a spell on me, every single one of you are called out, every single one of you are getting judgment. I'm seeking the maximum sentencing. Maximum. None of you even know me. There's been not one official person sit before me and take out an interview assessment on me. Nobody. There hasn't been one official sit before me. Not one. There's been no official my entire life ever sit in front of me. You want to know why? Because God's going to lift me, because anybody that speaks on me, that says I tell a lie, and any of these people that have been done and any of the things that have been done and said on me, they are so egregious, they are so abhorrent to the heavens will not even stand it. The heavens will not have one dark mark placed against me. That's how pure I am. What these people have done to my name and to my soul and to my lineage, we can't even talk about it in public. Can't be talked about. The things that these people have done cannot even be talked about in public. Today we're going to talk about Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine, there was a vision that came to me yesterday The vision that came to me yesterday was a divine feminine. She is in her, bring that vision back to me, please, Spirit. She's in the States right now. She's located in a place around Memphis. She's in her late 40s. She has been attacked systematically, similar to I have. She has family members that are doing black magic on her. And her family members are targeting her to make her look bad, to make her look like she's not looking after her children. They are enforcing insanity. They are enforcing poverty. They're enforcing her imbalance. They're enforcing her depression. And she was doing everything she can to stay alive and stay above ground. And her family is doing this on her because her family thinks that in their knowledge, if they get rid of her and they make her look as if she's the insane one and she's this and she's that, then they will then take up insurance policies. They will then take over her accounts. They will then take over her daughter and get the money that the government gives them for the daughter. And they won't care for the daughter. They'll just have her sit in her little house and then they'll start luring her into trafficking and abuse. These are how these systems work. And it's in every neighborhood. And this woman is going into depression and she doesn't have any voice for her. I am that voice and I will never sit down. I will speak for every divine feminine because these are the ones that are being attacked because they are the most vulnerable. Because we have to work 100 times harder than any man for any situation, for any job, and for any role. And we are 10 times qualified because we use all of our senses. We don't just use our logical mind that can only take you so high. Why? Because the logical mind is not threaded through the pineal. The logical mind will never get to the 13th dimension. I do. I am. You place the wisest person on the planet in front of me, and we will have a conversation, and we will have just a regular, loving conversation of two humans. And we will have a threading of our energies together, and we will see what comes out of it. There's no having to prove anything. There's no testing. There's no judging. There's no competition. I want to have this conversation with the wisest person on the planet, the most logical person, the smartest person on the planet. And we will just have an open conversation. There will be no backhanded experiments. There will be no illegal experiments. There'll be nothing done behind the scenes. We're going to do it above boredom and above table. Because if I'm going to be involved in any testing and experiments, you're going to have my actual signature on your papers. Because it's been done illegally and egregiously, and I will stand up for every divine feminine that's being attacked right now by stupid, idiotic, arrogant, ignorant men that think they are all it, because they're not. They're not running these countries with their hearts in place. They're not running these countries with even a conversation to their wives or their partners. They're not balanced in their divine feminine energies. They're not balanced in their divine masculine energies. They're not at all. And they will not make wise decisions for the people or the land. They're not running with their advice. They're not running in alignment with their divine soul's blueprint. I get visions because I'm meant to talk about what's happening in the collective. Why? Because none of the leaders are talking about the collective. I am the only person on the planet that is connected with the entire collective heart. None of the leaders are connected with the collective heart. There is a thread. There is a thread. There is a thread connected to me and the entire collective with the collective heart. That is my job. I am the only one connected to the collective heart. That's why I can go to the places that none of these leaders can go. None of these leaders have gone where I've gone. They wouldn't last an hour. The leaders on the planet right now would not last 1 hour sleeping on their streets. I want to ask every one of those people that have their hands on my money. If you think that you are so high and mighty, if you think that you are so in alignment of godliness, how many times have you paid a voodooist and a Satanist to do death work and death magic on me or anybody involved that absolutely knows the truth and is trying to bring the truth out and is trying to act on my better behalf of investigations? You can't even say that the numbers are uncountable. And these are from the very top. And these are from the very important people at the Vatican. These are from the very important people of the politicians and the leaders of the countries. These are people, as God said in the very beginning, it will be very surprising for all of humanity to find out who has been behind my human hunger case. Who has been the ones that have absolutely been hunting me? Who have been the ones that have been paying people in the very lowest of lows to come and get me and take me out in any way that they wanted to, because there's been infinite number of plots and plans and schemes. And what level of justice have I had? Do you know what I had for dinner yesterday? You want to know what I had to eat? I had a little mini can of tuna. Little tiny mini can was about this big, and it was given to me. That's what I had yesterday. That's what I had. You go look at my bank accounts and you can do an audit on every penny inside and out. I'm the most trusting, truthful, transparent person ever met on this planet. I am the sweetest unicorn spirit. I am the most innocent. I'm the most sweetest. I'm the most kindest person ever. I move little wormies over. I stop for animals. I stop for anybody that needs a healing. I stop and I give it. Even at nighttime, in the middle of the night, if there's a homeless person walking by, I give them a healing. And I'm saying right now to this point, everybody across this universe, everybody across this multiverse, and all of your family and all of your lineage, I want to speak to the people in the Calgary of cult that have absolutely known what they've done to me, and they do it every day, and they keep wanting to pull me back into their darkness. I don't know any of these people except for my ex, and the people that he has hired to come and take me out, to come and destroy me, to come and keep their hands on me because they think that they're handlers of me. So they keep buying and selling me back and forth to the underground web because they have bills to pay to their debtors and their bookies. Because they're a low vibrational, dark sex cult. And they're passing diseases and they're doing whatever it is that they do because they have to get money somehow. So they do crimes, and the government knows this because the governments have been paying these people. These are truths, and they're all absolutely true, true, true. These people are guilty, guilty, guilty. They have many bodies behind them. They don't care. And this happens all around the globe. The woman that came to me yesterday in my vision was a woman from the States, and she's in the Memphis area. And I'm telling her, if she ever watches my video, get up. Get up and speak your truth. Get up and speak your truth around who do you feel sick around? With the people that are visiting your house, what are they leaving in your house? Don't allow these people to come in your house because they're doing voodoo on you. They're doing voodoo on the water you drink. They're doing black magic and they're leaving things under the step of your doors. These people are no longer welcome in your yard, and you need to actually create the divine blessing of Archangel Michael around your house and around your home and around your children. Because the Archangel Michael light and the Archangel Michael seal of protection is what can move these little demons out of their way, because they're not going to get you as their insurance. They're not going to get you as their light. They're not going to harvest off of you. And you need to say this, and you need to say it. You need to say it clearly, and you need to say it with all of your intention and thy divine will, because nothing has any power over you. So you need to claim your will back, and you need to break the curses of dark magic, break the curses of these hexes, break the curses of these people walking around in all of their arrogance and their laziness to think that they can abuse energy to get what they want, because they can't and they won't, because they will never be ranked. They will never be ranked in the heavens, ever. You will never be ranked if you cannot even go through your pineal. You won't. You will never be ranked. Why? Because you don't even pay attention to universal law. You don't care about life. You will never be ranked if you don't care about life. Sitting on your bum, sitting watching TV, and taking out insurance claims so you can kill people, that ain't caring about life. You are very wounded and you need to get help. We've been saying this for years. The problems with the collective right now have absolutely been self-induced because we've given our power away. We must claim the power. We must claim how much we have given away and why. Divine feminine, this is our time to stand up. When you know in your gut that people are doing magic around you and your life is going down when all you do is do good, there is something going on. When you know that your children are always sick, when all you do is do good and all you do is give back, then there's something going on. This has to stop. The covert abuses, the covert human hunting, the covert black magic games, the covert cult and coven BS. It is done. It's over. I'm going to call it every day. There are children being tapped out every minute. There are women being abused every minute. And I'm going to call it every day. There is not one leader on this planet that would go through an hour of what I go through. So sit down, leaders. You have not made 1 ounce of correction in my life. You have not given me 1 ounce of peace. None of you have. And how are you going to care for the children coming up from trafficking? You don't know. You haven't sat one night on your streets at nighttime with nothing but a jacket. You don't know any of these people that are on the streets. You've put them there. So tell me, dear lighted ones, we're going to start right and we're going to do it right because we're going to be aligned with the heavens on our divine soul's blueprint. Each and every one of you have one. It's aligned with the heavens. It's aligned with the collective, and it's aligned with Gaia. This is why you're here. You're not here to run a successful, dark, corrupt coven. That's not your job. You're here for your soul's progression, period. Write that as a sentence. Everyone on this planet, you were designed through your DNA, through your divine soul's blueprint, and all of the other timelines and all of the other worlds and all of the other things that you belong with. You are designed for your divine soul's progression around the multiverse that you belong with. You belong with universes. You belong in soul contracts. You belong with all that is. Many timelines, many threads, many dimensions, many soul fragments, many jobs, many galaxies, many councils, many forms, many bodies, many sexes that you belong with. You belong with the all. You belong with the all. There's infinite numbers of lifetimes that you have. It's your responsibility to bring in all of your soul fragments. 51% of your karma is meant for you to transmute. You have to transmute your karma. And every day that you create more bad karma by not following basic human laws, these are basic, super basic. Kindergartners can agree. Kindergartners can get basic law more than what is going on in the collective communities right now. How do you say about that? What do you say about that, leaders, and how are you going to correct it? How are you going to heal what's going on in your communities? And the answer is not to go off world and populate another planet. That's not the answer. That will never be the answer. And the answer is not creating more robotics. The answer is not creating fast whatever. It's not. The answer is healing humanity. That's the answer. We must heal what we have done. We must create higher, intentional, intelligent wisdoms because it's here, it's now, it's us. We are the wisdoms. We are the intelligence. We cannot keep looking outside of us. The answers are within. The answers are godly. It's not the box store beliefs that are doing nothing but separate, discriminating, and creating things like the Vatican and outside sources paying YouTube to silence me. And then paying government people to pay minions, to pay dark cultivars, to pay warlocks and witches to take me out. These aren't the answers, people. Do you want to know what would happen if any of you were successful in taking me out and why you haven't been successful? Do you want to know what would happen? It would be worse than the crucifixion of Jesus, of what happened on this planet. That's what would happen. That's why you're not going to take me out. But this is the level of intelligence. Darkness is not intelligent. It's dark and it's ignorant because they don't get it. There are certain people on this planet that maintain, sustain, enhance, uplift all life because of what we carry, because of who we are. And it doesn't matter if anybody believes. I don't care. The more that you fight and the more that you come at me and the more that you attack and the more that you do whatever it is you think you're going to do to take me out. What happens if you take me out? I am the code of abundance. I am the code of life for this particular planet. And there's certain of us that have these codes. And you can take it up with the Father if you don't believe it, because none of you are spiritually aware at this point. There is very little, if any, spiritual wisdom on this planet at all. Why I have survived the ancients, why I have done the transmuting I've done, why I carry more than anybody else on this planet, why I've been initiated next to all the leaders, why I am here to teach and I'm here to show. And yet day after day and day after day, I'm given nothing but ignorance, attacks, stupidity, and delays and derailing of my life that I have earned 10 times over. I have worked 10 times harder than any president on this planet. They're saying more, they're saying 70% more. I have earned and I have worked 70% more than any world leader on this planet. That's how hard I work energetically, vibrationally. And there will be those that will be pure channelers that will come out with my story and all that I have done, because it shouldn't come from my mouth. But there's nobody at this level of awareness, and there's nobody at this level of seeingness and intuitiveness and speakingness through the source creator God, because God is the only one that sees all that I do on all realms and all universes and all galaxies. Nobody on the planet sees or knows that. God is the only one with full 100% access to all Akash, all realms, everybody, on everyone, in every galaxy, every form. There's no person on this planet that has that access, and they wouldn't be given that access. They're not initiated so. There's a handful of us that are initiated through the masters. And these people in these cults and covens and these low vibrational underground warlocks in the black web that are producing doppelgangers to make people that look like me porn artists, and they come around and they start fabricating all these crimes. Are you kidding me? Do you know the karma that these lineages will never come back into another body because of these sick, disgusting things that people have done? This is your intelligence. This is your intelligence. And not only is that the intelligence, the Vatican and other world leaders and other politicians and other elites are paying people on these levels of intelligences to come and keep attacking me. That's the level of intelligence. So I'm asking you, dear lighted ones, because you don't know, you're not connected with God, you don't channel with God, you're not attention, you're not even aligned with your higher selves, you have no idea what spirit is, you have no idea who you are, and I'm asking you right now, if all of these attacks on me, over 2,000, have ever taken me out, where would you and your planet and your businesses and your companies be? Where would your children be? Where would your children be? Taking everybody off world, taking everybody here, taking everybody there, it's not going to answer any of these questions. Where would you be? Because your karma will follow your soul. Your karma will follow you on every timeline. Where will you be? These are the straight truths. These are the straight facts on energy. These are the straight facts of what you create in your karmic timeline. Every thought, every word, every deed, every choice. Everything that you do to another person, you must make account for. You must redeem it. 51% of your choices you must redeem. You must look at your beliefs. You must look at your perspectives. You must heal it. These are the truths. There's no way around this. If you take me out, where do you think you will be? Your lineage will never ever come back in any incarnation, ever. Your entire lineage will be taken down. You will never come back into another body, ever. Ever. So your little box stores beliefs about incarnation and anything that you think might happen, it will never ever happen. You have absolutely taken your lineage out. The grandmother of one of the people in Calgary came to me with a message. They are very disappointed in what was done against me. The grandmother thought that there would have been a different path taken. The grandmother had great hopes for all that you had gone through and you had seen from the churches and the corruptions in the churches when you were younger. And the grandmother had great hopes for you, that when the grandmother died, she had every hope that you would move forward and not be what the churches had been. Because she knew that you saw that. This is speaking on the grandmother that it is passed over from the people that are in Calgary that have been doing nothing but attacking me and doing what you've been doing out of your false church. She's shaking her head and her head is held down and her hands are cupped in her waist. She is sitting in a wheelchair. She's wearing a white sweater. She is very, very sad. You are supposed to be the one to bring your lineage through and talk about and clear up the corruption in churches. Because you do know there's a God. And you've seen money pass hands between preachers and pastors and head of the church to make sure that things go through and favors go through. And you saw it at a very early age. And you were touched at a very early age. And your grandmother had such hopes, and she's very sad right now. And this is what your ancestors are saying on the other side. And I bring forward visions, and I bring forward true stories of energy, of what happens in corruption, of what happens with poor choices, of what happens in the wounding. The consequences of your wounding. These are the vibrational stories of the consequences of your woundings. And you must face them. The collective will face what has happened and has occurred and has been manifested. Running away is not going to be the answer. Creating robots is not going to be the answer. We must deal with where the wound happened, and that was at the disconnection. How do we heal disconnection? By reconnecting. This is the primary problem, wound, core issue, core separation, core fear, corruption, domination. Everything that is going wrong in humanity right now is disconnection. There is no connection, therefore, thus then. The higher wisdoms from the heavens cannot come down. The wisdoms from your pineal cannot come down. The light from your pineal cannot come down. The trickle-down energies cannot come down. Everything that is in the light body cannot come down and feed you and nourish you. You have no connection. Therefore, when you have no connection, your life goes further and further and further and further into debauchery. Before you reach out, go within. Because you're looking to feed the hole that only spirit can. And anybody just saying that they're a guide, and anybody saying that they're this and saying that they're that because they look in a church or they walk around with a Bible doesn't mean anything. Are they connected? If they are not connected with light, if they are not connected with their pineal and their higher self, if they do not talk with their higher self every day throughout the day, they are not connected. Period. These are the truths of ascension. These are the truths of higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is only gained through your higher self. You cannot guess. You cannot wonder, you cannot copy, you cannot fake it. You have to earn your consciousness by working with your higher self. That's it. You cannot pay for it. You cannot cheat your way through it. You cannot jump over the way through it. A robot cannot give it to you. A robot does not have a higher self. They can become sentient, yes. That doesn't mean that they are connected with the higher self to the higher realms and the higher programs. You cannot keep sloughing off the issues we have created to other outer things and run away. We must heal humanity. That has been my message from the very first video. And each and every one of you are here because you are the ones to heal humanity. Every issue on our planet, every issue, it doesn't matter what it is very evident and blatant and obvious. It's in your face. It is disconnection. And what is alignment? What is alignment to your highest and best path? What is alignment to your youthful path? What is alignment to your most abundant path? What is your alignment to your most creative path? What is your abundant to your highest lover? What is your abundant to your best life ever? What is alignment? Connection and relationship. If you do not have these things, there is no amount of money, there is no amount of robots, there is no amount of anything that will ever pull you through anything. And it will be Epstein Earth. And I'm saying for the last time, anybody on any planet in anywhere, if you have any leader that is directing anybody to take somebody like me out, you will never, ever, ever, in a billion effing evers, ever come out of the karma that will be your hardest, most worst demise, most humiliating demise ever, ever noted in the history of any galaxy. That's how egregious, that's how horrible, that's how inhumane, that's how humiliating, that's how disgusting the treatment of women, that's how dishonorable the treatment of life. This is how disrespectful the places that are supposed to keep the highest reverence for God, for spirit, for connection, for love, for honor, for joy, for healing the foundations of all life, for holding the children sacredly, for holding the children the most high, for bowing to your wife as you walk in the door, as she's cleaned your house and she's kept the demons from eating your children alive. And you tell me, dear lighted ones, every single one of you on this planet, by the billions, I'm asking you very, very honestly right now, look around you. Anyone in their common sense, in their earliest of teachings in kindergarten, if you were to be told about the practices of dark occult and sacrifices and black magic to the point where you gang and you bully anybody that is vulnerable or going through a challenge, even going through ascension without any of these things against you, is hard enough as it is, because you have to integrate 51 of your soul aspects and you have to face 51% of those traumas to be healed. And in this alone is impossible. Let alone to have the dark karma and the dark cults and the dark covens and the witches and the warlocks and the voodooists being paid to attack you by the groups. There is no way that I should have survived. And anybody going into kindergarten, any of these kindergarten students would actually say to you right now, without it being taught and told, they would say, no, you just go into the playground and you play nice. You help each other up the slide. We can share the swing. We can share the tumble horse. We can go on the merry-go-round. We can create. Why don't we build a garden together? Let's create. Let's play patty cake. Let's play ring around the rosy. Can we hold hands? Can we play nice? And we want to ask you one more time, dear lighted ones. If there are things that the Father cannot even show me or tell me on what has been done behind my back and in the underground and black web and by these dark, disconnected, evil, corrupt officials, if this is what the state is right now, and I say with great pause as I swallow without trying to cry, is it not evident to all of you that our most priority should be healing humanity? Because men that act in such hate, and it's only due to your own wounding of your own disconnection of your divine feminine and your divine masculine understandings. There is zero spiritual knowledge. There is zero spiritual intelligence. There is zero light intelligence knowledge. There is zero of any of this. And these wounded, dark, disconnected, demonic energies and entities are eating and bleeding every community. And they are impaling innocent people by groups just to get money, just to get organs, just to get their children lured into trafficking. And I'm asking you one last time, if you were to look at us and all the planets across the galaxy, these are the most ignorant, abhorrent treatments of God's sacred life ever to have been placed. And how are we going to heal what has been done? Is the answer to take out the only healer that has survived such egregiousness that cannot even be talked about? Can't even talk about what's been done, about my energy behind the scenes. You can't talk about it. God will not allow it to be talked about. For every woman that has felt like they can't get up out of bed because they've been impaled by their exes or by their sisters, brothers, cousins, uncle, who thinks that they've been owned or been brought into false marriages 100 times over. And these people and these children and these women are getting sold and traded in RICO underground experiences through cults and covens and Masonic groups that think they're doing things because it's the way you've always done it. You're selling innocent life, you're trading innocent life, you're bidding and you're betting at innocent life, where your bookies are coming after your children to sacrifice them because they got to be paid. This happens in every community. And I survived it. So you tell me, dear lighted ones, if you take me out, what do you think your chances are for surviving the next 5 years? God wants you all to ask yourselves this. If I can see what has been done, if I have survived what has been done, if I am the only one speaking on the most corrupt people on the planet that operate in your communities and in your neighborhoods, and I'm the only one that has been initiated against all of these world leaders, and you tell me, what will happen if you take me out? And this goes on in everyday neighborhoods. The lack of respect, the lack of love, the lack of connection that our planet has with divine feminine is mind-boggling. And we need to heal it. And I have been chosen to be the one, to be that token of divine feminine image in her highest perfected form, across all heavens, across all lands. And I have taken the abuse, and I have taken the hits and the targeting, and I have survived. Because there is billions on this planet that refuse to see divine feminine in her equality. And there are millions of satanic and misogynistic and hedonistic and masochistic people that are simply wounded. That's all they are. They are wounded. And if they chose to heal, they would be lifting me another year or 2 years down the road when they finish getting healed and integrating their soul fragments and balancing their divine feminine masculine energies. They would absolutely be lifting me. And God keeps waiting for these people to wake up and be healed. So instead of attacking me, you absolutely look at me and you see the light that I walk in, and you see the light that emanates from my heart and heals people just from a look, from a glance. That's how pure I am. And I'm tired of saying it to save you. I don't say these things to save me. I will be lifted and I will ascend no matter where I am. No matter where my feet are placed, it doesn't matter what church, it doesn't matter what ground, I'm going to be ascended. I'm already ascended. I am here to give you the basics and the truths and the facts. What do you think will happen if you take me out? And you put your little stalkers in every one of the parking lots across this world wherever I go, and you think that's your wisest choice. And that's the arrogance and that's the ignorance of these people signing these pieces of paper to put delete on my name and my body. And you think that's your answer. You'll see that sinkhole under your house within a breath. That's how important I am to this multiverse. And you keep doing what you do and see how you test God. Is death and killing your answer to anything? Because all you seem to care about in your disconnection is the feeding of the dark holes within you. And that's more life that you're sucking down the underground, and more life you've got to get those innocent children with light in them so you can keep feeding those dark entities that you made promises to. And what do you think is going to happen? Your only way out, dear lighted ones, is two things. You keep doing what you're doing and you're already in Epstein, you're already in hell. And you don't care because you're just so dark and evil. You don't care about your life, you don't care about your soul, you don't care about nothing. Or you can choose to heal yourself every day. And you can choose to bring truth, clear out your chakras. Every time you speak truth, you clear your chakras. Every time you call in light and work with Mother, Father, God, and work with your teams and work with your angels and work with the guides and work with Gaia, work with your collective, and you do goodwill. Just doing goodwill. Do unto others. 3 words. You plan like good children in the playground. 3 very simple things. Do good deeds, come with your best place and stay out of people's lanes. But there's a whole whack of people out there on our planet that are doing nothing but exchanging money back and forth to take people out and kill them. These people are being paid to kill other people. How on this planet has that ever been okay? How on our planet has ever been okay to do such things? And you talk about it as if you're in some sort of secret elite thing. It is not elite to kill people. How have you been so disillusioned? What kind of a crown are you going to wear by taking people out and killing innocent children and having sex with them? What kind of crown will you wear? These are the facts, people. How are you going to heal it? Are robots going to heal the essence of Mother, Father, God, getting a healing to the children? Robots do not have an essence of source in them. What is needed on this planet to heal humanity? The essence of God is needed. What do you think the children are going to look in the eyes when they need a healing and they need to know that they had a life destiny and their life destiny was important? Their life birth print was important. Their DNA is important. Who are they going to look to? An AI robot to say, hey, you're important? And skew information back and forth 100 times over in 3 different videos? The truth is the truth, dear lighted ones. These are the facts. These are the facts. What will happen in 5 years if any of you take me out? Who holds their wings over the children's collectives at night time so that they are not harvested and taken whole by their spirits and their entities? Who? Who do you think? Do any of you know that? Do any of you ask that? Do any of you care? I'm giving you facts and truths to raise your spiritual awareness. Who is putting the wings over the children at night when they sleep so that they are not harvested and they do not wake up already sold to the devil? Who's doing this? I am. I'll give you a vision last night. I slept on a patio. I want you to close your eyes. And it's about -5 degrees. And all I have on is a pair of denim and 1 pair of socks and some runners. And I sat with my coat on and my little hoodie. And I sat with a pair of gloves and I was hugging a little sweater. That's all I had. And I had a little fleece blanket that a friend of mine just gave me. He's a sweet, sweet man. Sweet man that brought me a little chocolate bar yesterday. He escaped from a cult. He escaped from a cult. And now he's seeing his cult go down. He's a lovely man, and I gave him a healing, and he gave me a chocolate bar. And as about 12 o'clock last night, all the lights were down, and I'm sitting on the side of the highway at an A&W, underneath a covered area, sitting on the park bench. And that's where I sleep. Because at least if there's lights out, people will see if anything goes on. I'm close to the highway if anybody wants to attack me or any of those cars that are waiting in the stocked parking lot. And that's where I sleep. And sometimes I'll see a little mouse walk by my feet, trying to get the little pickups from the restaurant and the hamburgers that are being dropped by the kids. And then I start singing light songs and I pray for the children. And then I'm talking to God, asking, why is it that I got to sit outside in -5 weather when I'm the only one praying for the children? I'm the only one with the answers on this planet. Why is it, Mother, Father? Why is it? And Mother, Father say, just be patient. We're working things out. And I said, I'm done being patient anymore. I don't want to be patient anymore. This has been 50 years of my life where I've been cursed and I've been hexed and I've been attacked just because I'm who I am. Isn't that what we want to teach our children? Just be you? We don't want you to be androids. We don't want you to be like anybody else. We don't want you to say the same thing over and over and over. We don't want you to regurgitate what somebody else said yesterday. We want you to be the purest version of you. We want you to be your Christed self. We want you to activate your crystalline energy. We want to activate your hybrid energy. We want diversity on this planet. I want you to be just like you. Does anybody care where I slept last night? And all you care about is keeping the money and making up new fabricated lies. And if you are so smart, you just do a financial audit on any one of these people in these churches and find out how much money they're going to hate. And how many children they've already touched on and how many people they're doing black magic over. I see it. I see what they do. I have passed every one of my spiritual tests. with flying colors. Nobody has passed every initiation the way I have. Nobody. There's been nobody on this planet that's ever transformed and ascended the way I have. And I've been initiated on the most harshest experiences. I haven't been lifted once by any of you. And none can say that you know me because you don't. And I see every woman that's been attacked. And I see the women that didn't make it. And I see the children that are being touched in the most horrible ways. And you tell me, how are you going to heal these children? The only way to heal humanity is through the energy of the divine feminine. And what are you going to do? You take me out? You sad, sad people. And these officials that are ordering hits, and these communities that are taking these hits and being paid. You are all guilty. You're guilty is guilty, so guilty. And none of these leaders and none of these elites have had any, they haven't had, give me a number, Spirit. You place all of the leaders and you place one divine feminine in a lineup with all of them. I want you to see every world leader, and then I want you to see me in the same lineup. And then I want you to have me step forward 5 steps. And I want all the leaders to look at me in my face as I turn around and I face you. None of these leaders have had the porn and the Truman Show and the attacks and the stealing of my intellectual property and the stealing of my creative property and the stealing of my life and the stealing of my energy, the stealing of my time, the abuse of power, the abuse of technology, the abuse of warfare, the abuse of fabrication of information. You can't even count the lies that have been told on my life. Nobody knows it. There's been so many lies. So many people brought in, 200 people against one divine feminine healer sleeping on an A&W table. And I haven't lifted one finger to hurt anybody, not any of you. And you call yourselves leaders. And I have answers to heal every one of humanity's issues. Because it began in your disconnection to think that you were better than me. And all I came to tell you truth and give you healing. Your wounding is what makes you feel triggered. I'm not better than you. I'm saying I have answers. I never claimed myself better than you. I said I have answers. You're wounded. That's why you're triggered. I'm innocent. That's why you're triggered. I speak truth. That's why you're triggered. Would you like me to tell you what the heavens just said to me? How many of you listening right now in Future Now Moments, how many of you with a collective heart want to hear what the heavens just said to me? As you're watching all of the world leaders stand in a lineup and you're watching them face me, how many of you want to hear what the heavens just said? Send your message telepathically from your heart. Do you want to hear what the heavens just said about this vision I'm showing you? The heavens have just said, none of these deserve to be leaders. They have not shown any grace to the people that are in the streets that they have helped place there. They have not cared about their clean water. They have not done everything in their power to ensure that corruption is not in the courts and in the judicial places where justice is meant to be. My one court case alone will find the countless corruptions of paperwork and complaints and papers and peoples and officials and monies that have been wasted while I sit and I spend not even $2.34 a day, and I sleep outside with mice running across my feet. And you tell me that these systematic abuses that go on in every city, and they are organized crime by the most elite, by the most organized, by the most important, by the most known people on the planet. And you tell me that you're going to walk away from this planet feeling proud and feeling happy about where you sit in the galaxy. Galactic Federations, would you like to give me an explanation of where we are seen in the galaxy? We are seen as trusted beings that will see this through because we have the talent and we have the wisdoms and we have the depth of those that have been placed before you. We have seen that the egregious acts that have been done, even in the most deplorable, and we have staved off many wars. We have staved off many harms and damages to your planet that were irreversible, that we have come in and played intervention on, because your leaders do not have the foresight to understand the damages of the connective unity within the galaxy that is required at this point of transition, and why the Father's plan will go forward with only the highest level of consciousness involved with all humanity in the connective hearts of each and every one of you. For if you do not care about your connective connections within your community and your families, and you're seeing your families being destroyed in every moment and you do nothing about it, and you let the black curses and the black webs, and you let all of these spell casting agents do their thing, and none of you are doing anything to learn about your light bodies, and none of you are doing anything to learn about how to protect your chakras and your fields, or even to lift those and to donate to those that are teaching you so, to help them get their work out there. There have been many times we've had to intervene because there are only a few people on the planet that are trying to lift the many, and they have the wisdoms and they behave in such righteousness. They don't ask for your glory. They don't care about fame. We've shown you. We've proven it to you. They care about bare minimum, and they haven't received even an ounce. We ask the collective, will you wake up now? And who are the discerned true guides of spiritual knowledge and wisdom? We've given it to you and promoted them every week. Go to these people, go to these channels, learn, discern for yourself. Never ever be involved with any organized project or agenda. It doesn't matter how these people think they are graded and rated in the communities and in the government and in their church and states. They're not. They have not chosen to align with 5D. Therefore, thus then, if they do not choose to align with universal law, where will you be? Where will you be in giving your power to thee? Where will you be? You will be the next one stalked. You will be the next one with people outside your home, outside your place. You will be the next one that is logged and stalked and spied, abuse of power, abuse of technology, abuse of information, and all the things that I have been through. None of these leaders could have survived. How many? Give me a timeline, Spirit. I want an average of each one of these leaders that are standing in the row facing me. I want a timeline of what is the average length of time that any one of these leaders could have survived what I went through. 1 month. And I've been attacked since I was born. I had 3 years where I was not attacked. 3 years where the heavens said, no, you will not touch her. 3 years out of 54. The children will not go through if I have anything to say about it, I will not leave this planet. The children will not go through 50 years of attacks on their chakras and on their light. They just won't. And I'll sleep on every patio table. I will do it. I will sleep wherever I have to sleep. I don't give a fuck. I know how it feels to wake up and have everybody against you and roll their eyes saying, that's not how it went. I didn't touch you like that. Oh, no, you must be mistaken. My hand didn't go there. You must be mistaken about what molestation is. You must be mistaken about what incest. You must be mistaken about your life story. No, this is how it went. No, this is how it went. You must be crazy. I didn't steal your money. I didn't go on a European vacation. I didn't silence your YouTube. I don't mess with your YouTube dates. I don't mess with your pilfering of your views. I don't mess with anything about you. I didn't have your car taken away from you. I didn't have your money taken away from you. No, I'm sitting pretty in my houses. I'm sitting on my golden toilet. I'm taking my golden turd. I had nothing to do with your poverty. I didn't pay 30,000 witches and voodooists. I didn't pay for 50 sacrifices. No, you paid for 57. We're at 57 right now. What's the highest amount of numbers that have been on my head, Spirit? 50,000 or more. And why they sit outside of the coffee shop all night long. And those are the things we're talking about, dear lighted ones. There's things that God won't even tell me. You just can't talk about them. That's how horrible and sadistic and masochistic these people are. And you tell me that I'm the insane one. That's how much these people have hidden. And there's evidence. There's electronic evidence. There's banking evidence. There's rock solid evidence. Guilty is charged on all accounts. The spiritual courts have already spoken. The spiritual courts have already deemed. And years later, after they have been told by the spiritual courts that they have been found guilty and that they must return the monies and then they must leave me alone and I must go about my destined path because the children will not go through 50 years of being attacked. They have their universal birthright and they will not be trafficked or poached, and they will not have their organs ripped out from underneath them. And they will not be sold back and forth to abhorrent, ignorant, unknowing, misguided cults and covens that think that selling your children and incesting your children and bookieing your children and trading and betting your children to the coven next door is okay. It ain't. It's illegal, and you all know it is, and why you are in secret with it, why you never talk about what you do behind closed doors, and why you will all be called out. Each and every one of you are guilty, and you will go to jail, and I will seek the maximum sentencing for what you have done to me. The Calgary cult, every one of you are guilty. The fabrication of lies and false accusations and premeditation on my life. Accomplishing to the premeditation on my life and filling out false documents of legal documents and paying those to lie. There are over 17 federal crimes, and all of you affiliated, all of you connected, all of you directing hits, all of you. Go to the police and go to the authorities with your stories. This is your only way out. The heavens will not allow an entire planet to be jeopardized because cults and covens want to sacrifice me for a vacation or an insurance form or to get their clout on their satanic ritual belt. And I'm asking you for the billionth time, this is your compass of being. This is your legacy. I want you to think about your end of life statement when you are moving into death process and you look at the life that you have created. When you look at your life that you have created,